Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about what I consider to be like the three biggest joy suckers in life and how eliminating these three things from my life made a huge difference. If you're new here, my name's Holly, and my channel is about how I completely changed my life using the law of attraction at 60 years old. I am currently 65 years old, and I used to be severely depressed. I had horrible anxiety, horrible anger issues. And when I was 60, I started studying the law of attraction and applying some of the principles of the law of attraction into my life. And it completely changed my life. So today, like I said, I want to talk a little bit about three things. Like if you don't even believe in the law of attraction and you don't want to study the law of attraction, but I can tell you by doing these three things, eliminating these three things from your life, it will give you a more joyful life. So I challenge you to just for the next 30 days, eliminate these three things. And I promise you, you will have more joy in your life. So the first thing would be the news. um, I was thinking about this the other day, how I get so many comments from people saying things like, oh, in this horrible world we live in today, and oh, the awful state of the world today. And, I was thinking about that and I thought, why do people feel today that the world is so awful? It's just so much worse than it ever was. Okay, we've been through things like Hitler. The ancient Romans used to think it was entertainment to watch gladiators kill each other. During colonial times, people were accused and tried as witches and burned at the stake, and people watched for entertainment. So, I mean, I could go on and on. I could go on and on about horrible things from the past. And it just makes me wonder, why do people, with all of these horrible things, like I said, like Hitler, with all these horrible things that have happened in the past, why today do we feel like, oh my God, the world is just so awful? Well, I believe the reason that we feel like the world is so awful is because of the news. It's only been since what the like mid 20th century that people were given access to news around the world through television, um, on a daily basis. On a daily basis, you could start to listen to, in like I think it would have been probably the 1950s, 60s, and people had access to all of the horrible things, all of the war news, and all of the violent things that have happened around the world, that we then had access to the news about those things. And do I think that this has helped us as far as our mental health in our society today? And I think the answer is going to be a big no. I mean, I always get arguments from people about, I need to know what's going on in the world. Well, do you really need to know every horrible thing that goes on all around the world and in our country that you can't do anything about other than feel bad about it? And I realize that people, quite often, I'll have family bring up, some big thing in the news, and I won't know about it. And they'll look at me like, you don't know about that? But honestly, if there's something really big happening in the news, I find that somebody tells me. But that's just my feelings on things. Like, I don't need to know about all of the horrible things going on in the world. And like I said, it has been only over probably the last 70 years that we have decided that we need to know everything that's going on everywhere. And if you really insist on, getting access to the news, then I suggest that you do it like through maybe a newspaper, maybe something online where you can kind of skim the headlines and then read what you want to. Because when you are watching the news on TV, you're just blasted with these images all the time, and you never know what horrible image is going to come up, what horrible news is going to come up. So I highly suggest, if you aren't willing to just give up the news like I have, then at least read the news instead of watching it on TV. Um, the next thing, the second soul sucking, joy sucking thing that I believe is so important to eliminating it from your life to have more joy in your life, is Facebook. And I gave up Facebook. I do have a Facebook account, but it's hidden. I don't ever go to it. I don't even know if anybody knows how to completely delete their Facebook account. But I haven't been active on there in years. Uh, but I just feel that Facebook does not really provide any value to anyone's life. And, I know I'll have people that'll say things like, oh, I just go on there to see what my kids are doing. Well, you're going to see what everybody else is doing too. And you're going to see all those posts about animal abuse or political posts about, angry over why their candidate didn't win. And just all of that stuff is intermixed with those posts from friends and family. And honestly, if you want to keep up with what your friends and family are doing, then call them on the phone. Or, my daughter-in-law and my son gave me one of those photo frames that they can send pictures to. And that's just a way better way to get pictures of your children and grandchildren or friends, is get one of those frames. Or, like I said, call them on the phone or ask to meet them for coffee. But stop scrolling on Facebook, because, like the news, you don't have control over what is coming up in that feed. And I would ask you to really think about, when was the last time you went on Facebook and you felt better when you got off of Facebook? I bet you have to think really hard about that, because I decided to give up Facebook when the political environment just got so bad, a few years ago, and people picking sides and being angry at each other because they weren't on the same side. I don't need this. I don't need this. I'm not a political person. I do vote. I do my own research and pick someone that aligns with my values. I don't believe in voting along political party lines. And that's my view on Facebook. Just give it up for 30 days. All of this is for the next 30 days. Just try it for 30 days. That's not that long. You can live without the news and Facebook and what I'm going to talk about next, politics. You can give up those things for 30 days. I promise you can, because you know what? I've given them up for life and I'm doing fine, and I consider myself to be a lot happier. So the next thing I want to encourage you to try a 30-day hiatus from is politics. Because, like, when was the last time you had a political conversation with someone and you felt better after that? Kind of like Facebook. But um, I do not enter into political conversations with people anymore. And I used to do this. I used to be fairly political. And when I started studying the law of attraction, I just realized that everybody has their own viewpoint. That doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because somebody feels differently than I do about politics or about a specific candidate, that doesn't mean I'm right and they're wrong. And that's something that we seem to have really lost in our society today. Like, respect other people's opinions. Is it really that hard? Is it really that black and white? that they have to feel the same way that you do. And, even when I was political, I started to find people that were on my side annoying too. Just give it up. I mean, that's how I feel about it today. Like, I just don't care. And I'm so much happier not caring. I don't care. And I respect other people's opinions about politics. I don't have to pick a side. I'm sure there's good and bad about both candidates, in every race. And I just think by giving up politics, you just give up so much of that stress related to conversations about politics and, Facebook posts about politics, and that you're just going to be so much happier without that in your life. I really find it hard to believe sometimes how I will get political comments on my content. Like, I don't ever talk about politics other than suggesting you give up politics. But I still will get like politically motivated comments in my comment section. I think, wow, some people will just take anything and turn it into a political uh, position. And I've had several people make comments that I must be a raging liberal because I preach positivity. And I think a lot of my Republican friends would be kind of offended by that, like, oh, we're not positive. Anyway, I highly suggest giving up politics. Do your own research, pick a candidate that aligns with your morals and values and vote for them, and don't even tell anybody who you voted for. It's nobody's business. Just do your own thing, do your own research, vote for who you want to, and keep it to yourself. And don't tell everyone your political views, and don't listen to other people's political views. And if somebody tries to drag you into a political conversation, then say, I'm sorry, but I have to step away because I don't believe in talking about politics. So, those are the three things that I want you to work on over the next 30 days. Give up the news, give up Facebook, give up politics. And instead, replace those things with reading a book. Remember when it used to just be nice to curl up on the couch and read a good book? Go for a walk in nature. Ask a friend out for coffee and don't talk about politics. Get yourself one of those frames that your kids can send pictures of your grandkids to, or your friends can send pictures. All of those things are so much healthier and so much better for your mental state of mind than scrolling on Facebook, being addicted to the news, and talking about politics. Instead, work on being a kind and compassionate person. Work on helping people. I have never gotten so much joy out of anything in my life as I have helping people on YouTube and getting responses, emails, comments about how what I'm teaching on here has helped someone. And you know what? You've got something to offer too. And I highly suggest that instead of focusing on these three negative things that I'm encouraging you to give up, focus on how can I be of help to people? Maybe you could volunteer. Maybe you could mentor someone. Do something that's kind and compassionate and that makes your life better instead of doing things that suck the joy out of your life. Um, if you'd like to hear more about, what I did to change my life at 60, then I do have an ebook. I've got a course. Those are available on my Buy Me a Coffee. It's linked in the description below. I do have a new professional email address that I will be switching all of my contacts over to. So please email me at the address that I'm going to show on the screen right now. And I am currently working with a publisher on just a little ebook pamphlet that I am going to be giving away for free. So if you join my email list, as soon as that is done, you will get my free ebook pamphlet on the law of attraction. So, like I said, email me at this email address and you will get that as soon as it is available. I think it'll probably be sometime next week. So work on these three things, give up the news, Facebook, and politics just for the next 30 days, and I will see you in my next video. Have a good one. Bye bye.